The hottest type of running shoe right now is the Supertrainer. And today we're going to talk about 5 Supertrainers that are either extremely popular or even potentially completely unheard of that are at the top of their game.
Hey, super trainer, trainer, super trainer indeed.
I'm going to do this list in no particular order. This is not a ranking. This is to give an overview of the 5 Supertrainers that I currently have that I think are worth talking about. Some you will definitely know about and others potentially not. And the way I want to do this is first highlight some of the pros of each of the shoes and then the cons of each of the shoes, and then have a broader conversation of them in context of each other. And we'll try our best to stay on task. Before we get started, I would like to quickly try to define a super trainer. It's a pretty nebulous term that can mean a lot of different stuff to different people. The way I view it is it doesn't even need to be overstacked, although that is one of the criteria of a super trainer, more traditionally speaking. But I think that for me, it's like super foam, performance-oriented, jack of all trades, could be excellent in any category within those jack of all trades categories. So maybe it's really fast and that's what makes it super. Maybe it's extremely comfortable. Maybe it has a pronounced rocker that makes it really great for going long miles. But the idea behind it, it's more of a vibe than a real category. But I think that it's a shoe that is above and beyond a current daily trainer, and it has a race foam. That's a pretty non-negotiable. And for this list, I'm going specifically non-plated super trainers. That's the way that this group of shoes shook out. It's not to say that there aren't super trainers. Like, I don't have the DV8 Nitro 4, I have the Elite. But the DV8 Nitro 4, that would be an example of a plated super trainer, or the Hoka Mach X3, that would be an example of a plated super trainer. For this list, I'm just going unplated super trainers. So without further ado, that's the definition. I know it's not a perfect definition, but you'll get the idea behind it. Li-Ning Red Hare 9 Ultra is the first that we're talking about on this list. And again, this is in no particular order. What makes this a super trainer? Well, it is very tall. It's very energetic. It has 3 layers of foam, all 3 of which are super foams. The most critical element of the shoe is this red component here, the Super Boom capsule. And what that is it seems like it's a rubberized coated outer layer with really soft foam inside of it, which contains seemingly the air from the foam and creates this very unique underfoot sensation, something that I've never run in at all. Like, this is brand new to me. Obviously, this idea, it can be seen in the Western world by Nike doing their air units, though this is definitely different tech as there is foam inside of the Super Boom capsule. I love that name. I'm going to laugh at that name every time. It's great. The shoe itself, the Li-Ning Red Hare 9 Ultra, has a top layer of foam, which I don't know what it is. There wasn't enough marketing material on it, but I believe it's a TPE. I don't know what type of foam is inside the Super Boom unit. And then what feels like on the bottom, a beaded PIBA, but at least a beaded foam of some sort, probably a super critical one. It just feels very like energetic on the bottom. Things that are great and that are excellent about this shoe. The uniqueness. There is nothing, period. There is nothing like this that I've run in ever. It has this very like non-Newtonian air mattress feel underfoot, where it's firm if you pick up the pace in it, and wherever you are not landing, it seems to like fill in the air from the super boom to the place that you're not running, which sort of creates stability, even though this is not really a stable shoe. That I think is mitigating some of the stability concerns. So it's very unique. It's a feat of engineering. It's a new idea that works really well underfoot to provide you something that you've never experienced before. So that's one of the big wins for this shoe. The other big win is the outsole. The outsole grips, and I took this in some rough conditions and I was impressed by it. And a lot of the shoes that I've been testing over the winter outside, I've been giving them a lot of grace because it's winter, there's snow everywhere, there's no clear roads or sidewalks pretty much anywhere right now since we got this storm. And Red Hare 9 Ultra was one of the best equipped to deal with those conditions that I've run in so far. So those are the two big areas of victory for the Supertrainer. The downfall to it is going to be stability, even though the tech, like the Super Boom capsule, I think mitigates some of the softness of the foam. Like it could be more unstable, but I don't think that this is going to be a stable option for people that require that, right? I run in a lot of unstable shoes, so it's not going to be easy for me to judge a shoe based on its stability because all of the things that I run in that I enjoy the most have some degree of instability. And so, I'm accustomed to it. I have those like muscles from running in unstable shoes built up so that I could, adjust make those micro adjustments to my stride to make it work for me, even if it's like chaotically unstable for some. So that's one red flag for the Red Hare. But overall, I don't have a lot of negative to say. I only have, I think, like 20 miles on this. I need to accumulate more mileage to be able to make a full judgment on this. And that's something I intend to do in the coming days, weeks, and months. There are a lot of shoes that I just bought, so I will be slowly accumulating miles on all of them. I have a lot of shoes that I'm excited to accumulate miles on, and this is one of them. You know what it is, Evo SL. Evo SL, not much to say about it anymore. I haven't run in this in a while. I'm done with it. I've moved on with my life and with myself. The world has not. There are 15 million iterations of the shoe. With the ATR, with the Evo SL woven, there was a zipper version that I'm pretty sure was AI generated that was posted on the subreddit. This shoe has taken the world by storm, and what I like about the Evo SL is its price point for the Western market. It's a really good price point. It's 150 bucks. Granted, the Li-Ning Red Hare Ultra 9 Ultra, it's a long name, that was only 150 retail, which is very expensive for a Chinese shoe. But, when it's the same price as the Evo SL, it's like you're getting a lot more shoe in the Li-Ning than you are in the Evo SL, but that's just to say that the value proposition for a lot of these is going to be out of whack when it's coming from China versus coming from the West. But the Evo SL proposes enormous value for Western brands, and it sort of triggered this avalanche of running shoe companies like making an Evo SL. Like you see that in the Saucony Endorphin Azura, you see that in Skechers is going to market with something very soon, which I'm extremely excited about. We're going to start seeing more competition in this space, in the Evo SL space, for an energetic daily trainer, right? So why is this in the Supertrainer bundle list? It's hard to say what category the Evo SL should fall into, but for super foam, for 150 bucks, like full super foam midsole, $150, very fast shoe. This is you could do a lot up until a certain like wall in the pace where this does become pretty unstable, even for me. You could get really fast miles in this, and you could do a lot of other miles besides. Like it's not the best to run slow in, but you can. And I think that the foam, despite being a firmer foam, does hold up over the course of longer runs. So I do think it flirts with being a super trainer. I think ultimately it's like an up-tempo daily trainer if I had to categorize it. But what it is in the context of this list is a company offering a non-plated, super foam shoe that is the new wave of tech, right? So where does this excel? I think that this excels in its value for money, in its responsiveness, right? Lightstrike Pro has this really shallow, rubbery response rate, and it turns over like nobody's business. Like the rocker is great in this, and it'll keep you running and running and running at a very high speed. And so it's a hard-working shoe that is great for a lot of people and a lot of people love. Where it falls down for me really is mainly the upper and the outsole. The outsole goes bald at like 200 miles. I've had 2 pairs of these, and it's even before 200 miles that this one started to wear in the outsole, and that's not great, but that's fine. And the upper is really sloppy, and it just like led to some really weird fit issues for me. I never tried this in a 10. I think that might help, but it might be just way too big, because even in a 9 or a 9.5, I don't think it's the size that's wrong about it for me. I think it's like the shape of the shoe itself and the upper shape particularly. So there's some issues that I have with the Evo SL. I won't, drive that home too much, because it is a fantastic shoe at a fantastic price, and a lot of people could get along with it really well. It's faster than you might expect. Next, we're talking about the Dynafish XiaoNian. This, to me, is what the Evo SL should be. Now, I think I paid something like $70 plus 20 in shipping, so a total of $90 to get this to the United States from China. This is the second shoe made by a company known as Dynafish. It has things that I love about it. Obviously, the price is a big one. It's only 200 grams for like 41 millimeters of stack. It has a very similar foam to Lightstrike Pro, except it's a bit softer. The rocker is better in this than the Evo SL, just hands down better, and that was one of the strengths of the Evo SL. And the outsole is better than the Evo SL. So it's like they took the Evo SL, fixed it, and increased the stack height and made it lighter. This is a better shoe than the Evo SL, period, hands down. One of my favorite shoes over the last couple of months. Downsides, it's really going to be nitpicky, but the laces are really, really long and pretty terrible. It's kind of it. The foam is fatiguing early-ish. I mean, it started fatiguing around, I would say, 175 running miles, but I also had well over 50 walking miles, which I didn't track. That's because I was walking. I don't really count that. But I took this for travel over to Italy, and this was my walking around shoe the whole time. So I don't know how many miles this is actually at for total wear, but for running miles, now it's over 200, and the foam is a little compressed. But the thing is the rocker is so, floaty boaty and rocking you along that the foam isn't actually the story here, even though it's also a super foam. So this is one of the best shoes that money can buy for the price that this is priced at. This is very cheap if you can find it. I know it's difficult to order things from China if you live in the United States, and they are very regularly sold out of this because it's in high demand. But man, yeah, Dynafish XiaoNian, such a great shoe. Asics Megablast. So the Asics Megablast is the Megablast, and it is the most expensive on this list at $225, which is a frankly ridiculous price for what you're getting. But what you are getting is, in the pro column, the best foam out of any shoe on this list, hands down. The ATPU in this is very punchy and has this very linear actuation where energy in equals energy out, conservation of energy, very fast top end speeds, can also go a little bit slower, also has fantastic grip, up there with the Red Hare 9 Ultra, or even better. It's still sticky at 250 plus miles. The letdown for the Megablast is the upper. It's not a good upper. It's narrow in the forefoot for me and a little long, so going up half a size really wouldn't necessarily fix it. But I do like the laces on this. The heel has a lot of padding, and that's a little confusing given the race fitting upper. Like, they could have probably saved a bit of weight. Not that it needs to have weight saved from it. I mean, it's 250 something grams, so it's not particularly heavy. And the Li-Ning Red Hare 9 Ultra is 260 grams, so it's even heavier than the Megablast. And I don't think that either is heavy on foot for the amount of stack that you're getting, but it's just a little confused, the Megablast, in what it's intended to be. Like, this foam is fantastic. It's a really great foam, but the padded heel seems like it's almost trying to mitigate the lace bite, so you have to leave the laces really loose and rely on the heel to apply counter pressure to your foot to keep it locked down in the platform, rather than just having laces that locked down appropriately and didn't shred your tendons in your foot. So yeah, there's just some issues with the upper for me for this and with the price, but probably the best foam out, not probably, is the best foam out of all of these shoes for a wide range of paces. The only one that gives it a strange like little twist is the Super Boom capsule and the Red Hare 9 Ultra, because that's just a crazy, it feels crazy underfoot. It's a crazy sensation. And it's not like the Megablast is not a crazy sensation, so they're really not comparable foam-wise, but the Megablast is, yeah, just like it's a great foam. Finally, the Anta Zone 2, also known as the Anta LSD. This is the newest addition to the group of shoes that I'm talking about today for me. And I have so far gotten 2 runs on it, really have enjoyed it so far. It is a lot more like the Evo and the XiaoNian than the Red Hare 9 Ultra or the Megablast, but it's not exactly like any of them. And what I mean by this is the foam feels like the softness of the XiaoNian and probably a closer geometry to the Evo SL, although this is a pretty late stage rocker in comparison to the Evo SL's rocker. It isn't quite as floaty boaty as the XiaoNian. But the foam feels the most similar, especially when going downhill, to both of those, but it's softer than both of those. Definitely closer to the XiaoNian in terms of softness. Like, those two are in their own category, and the Evo SL is a bit firmer, but this is even softer than the XiaoNian. Things that I like about it, I mean, pretty much everything is really good. I don't know if it flies quite as high as the XiaoNian, but that's to be seen. So I have a lot more testing to do on this. This is early days, and my excitement levels are up there with the XiaoNian. So that if that tells you what the biggest comp to this is, that should say a lot. So very soft midsole. I don't actually know what the stack height and drop are. I'm planning a more in-depth comparison with the Zone 2 versus the C2027 from Anta, because they appear to be built on the exact same mold for the foam. It seems like that's what's going on. But one of the reviewers for this that I finally got a chance to watch some reviews to see how my review that I just released today stacked up against those, see if we found similar things in common with the shoe. One of those reviewers, Run R, said that this was 4032, I think is what he said, 4032 or 4034. And that wouldn't be in keeping with the same stack as the C2027. So I don't know if they have different stack measurements or what. I mean, I just couldn't find any data on it. But this doesn't, so when I was saying initially that this was 3628 or 3428 for a 6 mil drop, I I don't know. I don't know if I believe that, even thinking through it myself in my head. This feels a bit taller than that, and it definitely feels a bit more protective than that. But it also definitely doesn't feel as tall as the XiaoNian. So it's really hard to say without knowing more statistically. But all of that is pretty irrelevant. This also didn't feel like a zone 2 shoe at all. It felt like a lot faster. It felt, again, in the Evo SL and the XiaoNian camp, where it's sort of this relentless driving you forward, wants to go quickly, egging you on, energetic foam, nice rocker. Like it builds this rhythmic, fast running in me. That's how I experience the shoe. So I don't think that this is a zone 2 shoe at all. But I guess like I could see it for some people if what they like to run in with soft shoes is slowly. Like if you prefer running slow in your softer shoes, then I could see where Anta is coming from in that naming convention. But I don't know. This is going to be one that to watch over the course of the next few weeks because I will be testing it a bit more. Downside to it so far, I did get this in a 9.5 because I wanted to test it against the C2027 in a 10 because I wanted to get a feel for Anta sizing a bit more to report back to all of you. So this is a little bit narrow in the forefoot for me. It was a risk that I knew I was taking. So that's one downside, my fault. And the outsole, I was slipping a bunch yesterday. Again, I don't really know if that was me or like the conditions or if this outsole isn't quite as good as some of the others. I mean, for sure, I could say it's not quite as good as the Megablast outsole or the Red Hare 9 Ultra because those seem to be very good even in these conditions. But as far as like the Evo SL is concerned, this is probably better or the same as that, and the XiaoNian probably better or the same as that as well. Probably maybe a little worse than the XiaoNian if we're ranking outsoles. I don't actually know. It's too early to say because it's been so slick and mucky and slushy out here that it's hard to get a good read when the conditions change so much. So yeah, Anta Zone 2, Anta LSD, fantastic shoe. More testing to come. One more thing to note on the Megablast as well, the foam has been holding up really well. We're talking about outsoles. It's still sticky, but there is some serious wear on this. And granted, it should be. It's over 250 miles now. But some of the other shoes, like the Dynafish XiaoNian, does not have really anywhere at all at a similar mileage level. So it's, I think that's a difference between rubber and CPU in durability. But those are things that we're going to keep an eye on going forward to see how all of these stack up durable-wise. Thank you for watching my video on Supertrainers. Those are the 5 that I have right now that are in the rotation. Such a popular class of shoe right now, and it's hard to say which one of these is the best. They all are great at all things. If I had to give a top spot right now, it would still be the Dynafish XiaoNian. All right, thank you all very much for your attention, and as always, stay in motion.